Douglas Cooling and Heating, serving the Birmingham area for 38 years. 988-3706. That's Douglas.
This is the Weather Extreme video for Sunday, May the 1st. I'm meteorologist Brian Peterson. You know, when you're forecasting the weather and the rain is not very far away, you feel a little nervous when you don't put rain in the forecast. Let's get right to our Skycam imagery this morning. There's a look at the Tuscaloosa Skycam, and we can see a few of the clouds in the sky from the rain that's off to our northwest. No rain that is actually near the Gulf Shores area, but they do have a few clouds as we look off to the sunrise coming up over the cirrus, what appears to be cirrus clouds off in the eastern sky. The frontal system that is stalled to our north is expected to stay there for at least another 24 to 36 hours. But in the meantime, we are getting some clouds, so we'll have a few more clouds than we've seen over the last several days. In the upper atmosphere, we're seeing one trough go through the Great Lakes area, and we're looking at another trough that will finally kick this front on through here probably on Tuesday, paving the way for some beautiful weather Wednesday and Thursday. Temperatures have climbed quite a bit ahead of that front. You can see the contrast there with 60s all the way up to Chicago. Got my daughter complaining about how warm it is up there, but then when you get into the Dakotas, just a couple of hundred miles away, we're down into the 20s, so quite a contrast along that frontal system up there. Across central Alabama, we don't have quite that contrast, but we do have a little bit of a contrast. Still a little cooler in the east central counties, generally in the mid-50s, while Birmingham's sitting at 63 degrees, so kind of mid-50s to almost mid-60s across central Alabama. As I mentioned, we have some showers off to our northwest, and especially along the line extending from about Nashville over to Memphis and then back to the Arklatex primarily, and that is the focus for a severe weather threat as we're looking at the watch warning map, and there's both there's at least one watch in effect. I think one of those has expired, but a lot of flash flood watches with a lot of rain that has fallen, aggravating the already interesting flood situation where Memphis is going to have record flooding going on. And, of course, with the rainfall amounts from the QPF guys, we're not looking at a lot of rain down here. I still think on the order of maybe a half to 3/4 of an inch when the rain comes through here on Tuesday primarily. Storm Prediction Center outlooking a slight risk for severe thunderstorms, primarily damaging wind and hail, and that's what we saw last night across Arkansas and parts of West Tennessee, and stretching from about Memphis and near Paducah all the way back through the Arklatex down into the Waco, almost to San Antonio area. The Storm Prediction Center drops slight risk on day 2, primarily due to a subsidence inversion, which we'll talk about that in just a minute, but that is probably going to keep things pretty stable. There's still a risk of some severe weather immediately along the front, and those thunderstorms that actually just propagate along that front, we might see some isolated damaging wind or hail events. The morning 06Z GFS run today shows that front stalled out to our northwest and north, and not expected to get down into this area, though, like I say, when it gets that close, it gets a little iffy. Showers will be in the forecast for Monday as we see the area to the south of that front become a little more destabilized. But then on Tuesday, that's when that trough finally comes across the Mississippi River. And when that happens, look for us to have a pretty stormy day on Tuesday. But on Tuesday, I'm not expecting anything to be severe at this time. Again, there is some very slight risk that we might see a little bit of isolated damaging wind thunderstorms or possibly a little bit of marginally severe hail, but I don't think we're going to see much more than that. And here's the reason why. This is the projected sounding for Monday afternoon, and you can see that the subsidence inversion there is kind of keeping things at least a little bit under control as far as not allowing much in the way of severe weather. By Wednesday, we see much improvement in our weather as the trough moves off to the mid-Atlantic states. And what that does is bring in a surface high-pressure system centered over southern Illinois and Indiana. And that certainly will bring us much drier and cooler weather for Wednesday morning and again on Thursday morning with large highs centered over the southeastern U.S. That brings us another beautiful day. Right now, it looks like Friday will probably be rain-free. Although with a disturbance moving by just to our north, there's a possibility we might see an isolated shower, but I think for the most part we'll be dry, so I'm keeping rain out of the forecast. We stay dry again on Saturday, so another good day. And then when we get into Sunday, we see another shortwave trough moving across the central plains, and that could bring us some rain for, not probably for Sunday, but at least maybe late Sunday and maybe into next Monday, a week from tomorrow. Looking ahead into voodoo country, we're not seeing a great deal of change. We do have a system around the 12th that's expected to bring some rain to the area. But as we were saying yesterday, the GFS is suggesting a pretty strong ridge to our west and a pretty deep trough on the Atlantic coast, the result being northwesterly flow. So it looks like at least through the middle of May, we could be a bit cooler than we have been over the last several weeks with some of the warm weather patterns we've seen. Well, thanks for tuning into the Weather Xtreme video. James Spann should be back at the desk once again tomorrow morning with a new edition for the Weather Xtreme video. Hope that you have a wonderful upcoming week, and Godspeed.
Sprinkle up some fun at the 13th Annual Buck Creek Festival in Old Town Helena's Amphitheater Park.
Join us May 13th and 14th for live music, food, arts and crafts, and the rubber duck race.
Deputy 5 and Mustang Sally highlight the festival. See you there!